Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be looking at building a deck and then playing it, I guess. So I kind of want to play some Fatigue. I don't have some of the leaders that I'd like. I'd like to build a Wealth deck, but I do want to look at the other leader. But for now, let's try some Fatigue. We're going to play with this, and then if I manage to grind up some more resources, yeah, I do want to play with some Wealth. But I don't really have many. Even though Wealth was my favourite faction in the closed beta, I don't really have many of the cards for it. So I guess we're just going to go with this. And yeah, let's build a deck. So we're going to build this around Exhausting. So I think what we want to be doing, one things that say expend on them, for a start. I think Festival Feast is just a good card as it is. We'll put Astronomer in, but I'm not too sure how good this was. I think Wanderer, I don't think we need that. Okay, so Flurry of Knives. So this is an event that gives us an additional play, so we can play it kind of for free. And with the way that cards work in the game, it's kind of okay if we go down on cards because we just draw back up to 4 anyway. And if we do this, we're able to go through our deck, but it doesn't matter because we're going to be expending from our opponent and we're going to be gathering ourselves. So it should be okay if we overdraw. It's not too much of a problem. So I kind of like Information Theft as well because our opponent's going to expend 1, which is our game plan. We're going to draw a card and we're going to gain a play, so it's like a free mill one, which eventually will help us get to that 20 damage, which is just going to kill our opponent. So we'll play this. I do like Politician as well because whenever our opponent plays an event, they're going to expend 1. It's a 1/4 Vigilance, so it's like a big boy. It's going to stick around for at least a turn. And then Biased Crier. So this is going to, at the end of our turn, our opponent's going to expend 1. So there is an effect that does this with as a summon, and I think this one's just more powerful because it's going to happen more than once potentially. I mean, it probably is going to happen once because it's just a 1/3, but it's got the potential to be able to happen twice, which makes it twice as good as the initiative. Your opponent expends 1. There is one for a low power, high touch thing, unless this is it and it's been recently buffed. I'm not too sure. So I like the idea of Cartographer because this will help us to 2 up a support. And as an amount of our supports give you +1 play, that seems like it could be a really nice gamble. So we'll pull that in, but I'm not too sure about we're going to keep it. Conspiracy, again, we don't mind going down on cards in this game because we're going to redraw them. And we basically put it so that our opponent's on less cards in deck. I guess Conspiracy is fine. I'm not sure. I guess at the end we might cut this. But let's put it in for now and just have a see about that. As well, the Poisoner might be good because it's got Lethal and Sneak. We don't have too much to be able to keep it. So if this damages a character, it will destroy it, which is the good thing. It's also a 2/3, so it is probably going to take 1 or 2 things down with it, which is really good. But I'm not sure if we can keep it in the deck. So again, I like Diplomat. Whenever this takes damage, your opponent's going to expend 1, which is really good. So if we can attack it at something and force everyone to attack it at this, that's 2 cards, and that brings us a lot closer to where we want to be. We've got Envoy the Citadel. Maybe that's supposed to be Citadel, I'm not sure, but maybe Envy of Citadel, well, that's a place. I'm not too up on the lore of pretty much any game. Usually with lore in games, I take a really passive interest in it and just wait for someone else to be really excited by it and explain it to me, because that's usually that's what I like. I like hearing from people who enjoy the lore of games and then sort of describe it in their own way. So this has got protection, and at the end of your turn, your opponent expends 1. So this is really good. It's got protection, so it's going to last through 2 attacks or 2 effects that would affect it, which is really nice. So we'll put that in. Actually, there's a card there. What did we miss then? Bureaucracy. So destroy a spot, and your opponent just expends 1. This could be a really powerful card, I think. Yeah, we'll probably go down to just 1 of that, but just want to make sure we've got that access. So we've got Unmask, which is going to set the health of enemy characters to 1. That's going to be really powerful, I think. Imperial Magistrate, so Vigilant, Protection, and at the end of each turn, your opponent expends 1. So this is probably going to survive and potentially expend our opponent for 4 cards, which is pretty important, to be honest. So if we're going to be playing Unmask, I kind of want to play Black Market Bandit as well. So I think we'll jam that in. And then Blackmailer just seems really powerful. So let's start to cut down on things that we weren't sure on. So Unmask, I don't think we need 2 copies of that. I think 1's probably enough. I think Unmask is actually one of the abilities on our hero as well, which is good. And then Conspiracy, we'll go down on that just because we can come and find it in a minute. So I really like Bloodmail because it's going to set the attack and health of the enemy character to 1/1. So it trades with this, but also 1 toughness is really good because it's going to trade with anything that we've got in play. So it's basically a removal spell that leaves a body. So I kind of like that. We'll play 2 for now, and then we'll just have a look through what else we can have. So yeah, we don't really need 2 bureaucracies because that's kind of a niche effect. I guess if you get it and it works, that's going to be fantastic. But I guess in this game, we can just put things into the cards pile if we don't want them. So let's play an additional conspiracy for now, just while we look through. We've already got the limit of that. So yeah, I do kind of like this so far. This looks nice. We've only looked at like cards in our faction. We've also got Dead End. We should probably be putting that in. Yeah, let's put Dead End in because this is going to destroy an enemy character with health 2 or less. We do have a backdoor, which is going to be able to reset protection, which is really nice. Because, well, when you play it again, it's going to have protection again, which is really good. Yeah, let's have a look in the neutral cards and see if there's anything we want. I do kind of like Journey to the Unknown just in most decks, just to thin your deck a little bit. But I don't think we really need that in here. We might try the Camel. I think I've got Camel in my pile. Not too sure. But Camel's good because that'll get you, if it gives you access to goods and it's like a really big body. Let's put it in and see what our deck would look like with that in it. So, anything else in there? Generally, I just want a spell that would like kill something would be really good. Yeah, that's... Oh, I'm pretty sure Harvest Festival used to be like... Wasn't a generic card. I'm not sure. Have you played something similar where it's like if you had 4 cards in play, then you've turned they've got +1/+1? Nice. I just got the a notification on another game of play about a new expansion for that, so that's sweet. So let's have a look at what we don't really want. So I guess we don't really need to invoke gods because we're not really exhausting our own cards. So we'll get rid of that. Although I do like Camel as a card because it's better than just supplies, and it's also a 1/5 body, which is really good. A bunch of effects that we have, like Unmask and the Blackmailer. Also just like it survives because it's got 5 health. So Dead End I like because it's going to kill someone with 2 health or less, which kind of combos with a bunch of our other cards. So Astronomer, Vigilant Initiative, draw a card. This will keep us alive. So we'll look at this in a minute and see how we feel about that. So we've only got 2 additional cards we don't really need. So maybe Conspiracy bites it. It doesn't really impact the board, but I think I actually kind of like it. But let's try. We'll shave that down, and then we'll just see how we go. So Charms get to pick out. I think I'm just going to pick the regular basic one. I always call this Fatigue. So that's not the right shape. Fatigue. No, Fatigue, thank you. So we'll save this. And then let's take a look at our hero. I think we have to edit the deck to see our hero. Let's go our leaders. So Denaria has got on level 3, she summons a politician or prepare, which could add bureaucracy. Oh, we don't need bureaucracy in our deck, we've got access to it. Okay, cool. That's interesting because we can go and put the other spell. Dissuade, pacify targets. This is similar to the street performance. Got summon Imperial Diplomat, which is where it takes damage. And Unmask, which is good. And politics. So we only need like one of those. Yeah, let's edit this deck a little bit. Yeah, I kind of like having the ability to have bureaucracy when we need it. Yeah, it's fine. We'll just click out of this. So let's go and play a couple of games. We're already like 10 minutes in, so let's go play 2 games to sort of see how this goes and see how we can fatigue our opponents. There we go, again with the quick cues. I think in the last game, in our last video, we didn't do 2 hit for one of the cues, but I just tried it down. I think it ended up being like 30 seconds or something. Okay, so we're going to have a look at the hand here, and we play first, but we've got a bunch of free drops here. So, guess we can shuffle that back in. And we don't really have any 1-drops, so I kind of like this hand. I think it seems fine. Yeah. Maybe there was this bureaucrat that we should have got rid of because it doesn't seem to do too much. It's just going to mill him for 1. So you have 4 cards in hand, you start with 26. If our opponent's playing a lot of cards, then... Oh, we're playing a mirror. This could be interesting because we've not got any gather. So let's see. We would have 2 2-drops to play, so... At the end of your turn, and when your opponent plays an event. Our opponent's going to probably play a bunch of events. So let's see which of these 3 drops we want. We can always get this back later, be able to tutor for a spell. So we'll just do this. Yeah, unfortunately I'm going to be playing this probably after our opponent plays coin. So we won't get an additional expend out of it, but as we're both probably very heavy on events, I think having that out is probably going to be quite good. Might get us like 2 or 3 cards. So we get to do our first ability on 3. So we'll just mill the 4-drop. Well, we'll cause the 4-drop. So we get to prepare or summon. And I wouldn't mind having 2 of these out. Bureaucracy lets us kill a support, which, yeah, that could be quite good. We'll see next time if we need it or not. But for now, we're just going to expend our point for 1. Yep, go to the Flurry, which kind of doesn't do too much. And then Festival Thief. I think that we might trade this out because this probably doesn't survive against a lot of decks to be able to actually use its sneaky effect. So sneaky means it can attack ignoring individual units. And it's kind of small. Yeah, maybe we'll trade this out. I'll have a look at how the deck is for like 2 drops after this game, and then I think this will probably be the thing that moves. Opponent can temporarily bump up to 3 this turn and use their ability. Oh, opponents, yeah, they've got a bit of a gather here. Uh-oh. Yes, get to gather back there, which is kind of a nuisance. So we'll put this away for later. And then I think I might Bureaucracy rather than Istvalen. Because then we can kill our opponent's coin. I'm going to take, because we're playing America, I'm going to take a look at some of the cards our opponent's playing just so we can get an idea of what other people are doing. Wow, 2/6 with Vigilant. That seems like that will live forever. So I'm going to play the Politician and the Biased Crier. And then I'll just attack this for 1. Try and get rid of it next turn if possible, because our opponent gathering every turn seems like counter to what I want to do. Did we put 1 in here? Yeah, we've got a cartographer in there so we can shoot out a card later on if we need to. Well, it's not 2, it's just going to be a random one, fortunately. I like how the game can be played quite quickly, but it's also got quite a nice pace to it. You get to take a break between turns because there isn't too much you can do on your opponent. Well, there isn't anything you can do on your opponent's turn apart from sort of see what they're doing and plan your next turn. So they're going to go for the event guy, which kind of a nuisance, means that we're not able to hit this down. I suspect there's not an attack here. Yeah, it's probably not good because our opponent wants to keep this around. Griffle sounds like an interesting inclusion. Is that at the end of their turn they get to gather? Gather being random is probably not the best. So let's have a look at what our 4 plays would be. So pacify opponents and get a diplomat. So we'll just do this. And then probably just play like Envoy. Well, I mean, we could have put this into our cards pile. That was probably better, but let's just attack into this. I mean, we kind of need to get this dead anyway, so we may as well get started now. Then I guess we could pacify, but there's not too much our opponent's got. We've not got very good attacks. So we'll just create a diplomat. And then end of our turn we get to discard 2 cards from their deck. They get to put 1 back. We're not getting too far ahead. I think they've got more cards in deck than us. That's kind of the key metric in this matchup because we're not going to be killing each other because our units are very low, like attack power, but quite high health. Our protection unit here, nice, because this means it probably sticks on for quite a while. Protection in this matchup is probably like outside of our actual removal spell, which our opponent played a while ago. It might still be in the market, in the not market, the bin. Dead End. I'm not too sure what it's called. But yeah, outside of spells like that, it probably just means we've got an additional point of health. Because most of our units are quite small, really, because they're just there to stop us from dying, rather than to kill our opponent. But this, will be interesting if we can actually win the mirror. Our opponent's got some different cards from us, and I think we can learn from that. Again, when last time I was playing, it was mostly in the closed beta, so cards have changed, and I don't know all of them quite yet. But I did like Wealth and Influence, feeling like they were quite opposed. I guess Influence gets to control Wealth, which is quite the commentary from the card game. Okay, so they've gone for the Pacify, which is fine. Leaves their things to live for a bit longer. Provocation? It's kind of interesting to go for the Provocation then, because what do they want to trade? Are they just playing cards to draw more cards? Oh, right, okay, they're going for Black Market Bandit. Yeah, okay, that's interesting. Well, fortunately, we took damage on one of our units that cared about taking damage, so we got to mill our opponent for 1 there. So we'll just turn this into a 1-1. So we've got Information Theft. I think we'll play this before anything else because it's kind of free. It does millers, which is a bit of a nuisance. Oh, great. Okay, so we get to... So let's get rid of Astronomer. Then we'll blackmail this. We should have an additional play left, and then we get to Black Market Bandit. And I think that seems quite good for us as a turn, because we've managed to kill most of what our opponent had in play. And now they do draw 4 cards, but they're on 11, we're on 15. And I feel like that is the metric that matters in this matchup, realistically. Obviously, if we deal 5 damage to them, that would be really good, but we want to be dealing damage in multiples of 5. And if our opponent's getting life gain, we want to make sure that we get them back onto a multiple of 5, just because the fatigue deals 5. I can't remember what it's like in Hearthstone. I think it's the first one deals 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. If discarding for your opponent's deck or expending became a problem, that's probably an easy solution you can put to make it not be too pushed, because it makes it a lot slower, and you can't just build a deck that is just playing a very different game from what your opponent's playing. So the downside of our opponent having 4 cards in hand is that they've only got 2 plays. Okay, so healing 4. This is going to put them... Oh, it's heal, not gain 4. So it doesn't go above the limit. So there's 2 different healing mechanisms I think we've got in the game, where one of them will bring you above your maximum health of 20, and the other one will only heal, and one will gain you, which is kind of interesting. So look what our 6 spell is. We get Politics, which is gather 2, your opponent expends 2, and then we've got Unmask, which sets the health of enemy characters to 1. So this will get protected by protection, so let's bounce into that. Got to attack the Vigilant first, that's a nuisance. I guess we Flurry. And then we could Unmask. It's kind of interesting actually. Do we Unmask? We've got 2 plays left, so we can play pretty much everything we want. Or do we gather 2 and expend 2? Because I kind of like that. Because we can kill everything they've got anyway. Yeah, we'll gather 2 and they'll expend 2. We'll play Politics. So what was that last card they got? Travel Village. At the end of your turn, you gain in health. Okay, so that doesn't seem as exciting, but Frontier Medic is something that I'm very interested in. So let's trade into this. And I guess we, from here, do we try and hit this down a little bit? Yeah, I guess we do. Put something in the bin. There we go. We should be able to kill this next turn. I could probably have attacked with this, but I don't want to just lose turn of a flurry of knives. I'd much rather try and mill our opponent out. And I think that we've managed to get the game to a state where that is what's going to happen, because we're on 14, they're on 3. It's going to be quite hard for them to do that. I mean, they do get to do a unmask this turn if they really want to, which means that they can kill this for free. Yeah, they can potentially combo kill our things, but if they spend too many cards from hand, then we can get them in a position where they just die to fatigue before we can do anything else. Okay, so they're playing actual... Okay, so they want to play their 6 as like a gather. Oh, they've got another flurry of knives. I guess they shuffled one in. But now we've got them down to 1 card. They put 3 in, but they're going to draw 3 cards at the next turn. So if we can basically mill them for their last 3 cards, then we should be able to win like very easily here. Okay, so they're playing a botanist here, but it won't heal them above 20. So maybe they want to wait for that. I think maybe there should be like a bit of clarification on that rule about when you can and can't go above. So at the end of each turn, your opponent expends 1. That should be good for us. And destroy an enemy with 2 health or less. Nope, can't do that. So look what we're getting here. So expend 1 on an initiative, which would deal our opponent 10. Well, let's just do this. And then we will play the 2-drop, which doesn't seem extremely exciting. But it will... Yeah, okay, I've almost had enough. They can see what's happening. They were getting milled. And yeah. Once you've got no cards left in your deck, you can't draw any outs again. Because if you've not got any gather, you can't put anything back. Okay, well that was cool. Let's go on to another game. Nice. It's like a little bit of an achievement as well. It's like getting the 300 cards. So let's have a look at our deck before we play the second game, which it's going to be the last game realistically. Let's just have a look at some of the cards that we saw from our opponent then. There was like some sort of healer. Actually, I don't know if I even got that card. So we want crafting, go to influence. I'll just type like heal. Frontier medic. Cost 150. How many spares do I have? 5. Yeah. Kind of the downside of being like quite poor in this game. Because I've not been playing like an amazing amount. Well, I guess next time we play like a discard deck, we'll pull players because this seems like a good card. But there was a change that we did want to make. We wanted to get kind of rid of the sneaky unit. That seemed like it didn't really do anything, to be honest. Feels like it will just bite like any random deal 1. So let's edit and we'll get rid of Festival Thief. There we go. Get out of here. What was the we wanted more of? So it was a influence card, and we've got all dead ends. Manuscript's kind of interesting as an idea because it's like a support. You click it, you get the extra play for the turn, but I don't think we want that. So it was not trick. I can't remember the name. It's the mill 2. There we go. Conspiracy. We'll put some conspiracies in. I think conspiracies would probably have helped our last game as well a little bit quicker, rather than the 2-1 that didn't kind of do anything because it needed to survive, and it's like an X1. Because with like, if the aggressive deck's playing the longbow, then your X1's just not going to survive. So we'll play another game of this, and then we'll probably call it a day. I need to grind up some more cards so I can play some more decks. Because I think Wealth is what I want to play next. Because Wealth was pretty much my favourite all the way through the closed beta. Yep, it's a fine match. It didn't say that people were looking for a game, so I guess people already paired. So we could wait a little while for this one, maybe like a minute. Okay, well, like 7 seconds. Impressive, really. Another mirror. Or is that just... Yeah, okay. This is interesting how we're just playing mirrors. Well, we're on the play. And all these cards cost like 1 million. I like this one, though. Yeah, we'll keep the 4-drop, because at worst we're pointing our cards pile. But I do kind of like that. Okay, well, we're going to like double conspiracy them on like turn 3. Which is kind of spooky. Well, let's put away the Envoy. Next turn, I guess we just play the Astronomer and just hope we draw another 2-drop. But I guess similar to the last game, I think a thing that might have helped us win that game as well is that we blew up the opponent's coin because they didn't play it yet. Well, they didn't activate it yet. Well, Blackmailer, get out of here. So our ping's on 3, which is next turn. Yep, this is fine. So I might just play Politician plus Conspiracy next turn. Plus we get to put a second Politician in. Or if they don't use the coin, I'm going to blow up the coin. I know it's not called the coin in this game, it's the amulet. But to me, like, coin is so important to so many games for the go second player that. Okay, so this is where our opponent's going to play this and just like own us with the 2-1 that we've just removed. Okay, so I might, if they don't use this turn, I was going to blow it up. What got away? Rats. Yeah, we get to kill this for free next turn anyway, just with the black market, so let's put a... We're going to put this away for safekeeping. We're going to play a Politician. What's Bureaucracy do again? Well, no, actually we're going to play Bureaucracy because it kills this. The nice thing is, because it puts in your hand, you get an additional play for the turn. So we're just going to blow this up. Stop our opponent from going ham. Okay, so we've got that information theft, which is nice. And then I'm going to Conspiracy them. And then we'll just play the Politician. Dead End seems just like it kills anything in this matchup as well. So I'm kind of glad that we milled one of our opponent's Dead Ends. I know mill isn't like... That's not how that works, but I'm kind of glad that we don't have to face this thing that can kill anything in our deck. Well, it's health. Oh, it's how far it was attack. If it was attack, it'd be busted, but fortunately health, it might not do anything actually. Well, I see our opponent's milled off us. Well, we played these cards and they've milled this. I appreciate that like a mill mirror might not be, well, a fatigue mirror might not be the most interesting thing for a lot of people. I probably could go for the attack here. Well, they might just attack us. I'd probably have attacked us for 2. Well, we need to get this down a little bit. Unfortunately, our opponent's probably going to get to mill us a little bit just off this. So let's have a think about how we do this. So we want to play Black Market Bandit to deal 1. So that deals 1, this deals a second point, and then we'd be able to kill it with Dead End, which would get them to mill. Yeah, it's kind of... Our opponent's going to get some cards off us. Well, let's mill them back. We drew an actual Bureaucracy. I think this time I'm going to put it away. I think there are a lot of good supports in this faction, in Influence, so potentially that could happen. So let's have a look what we've got again. We've got an Imperial Diplomat, which I like. And we've got the Dissuade, which I don't think we really need. So let's play a Black Market Bandit. Kills this, deals 1 to this. We get to attack this. We've got 1 play left, which is just going to be to Dead End this, to be honest. And then we're going to play a Imperial Diplomat. And our opponent's slightly ahead on cards. And we're going to draw like a full grip next turn, which is not the best for us because it'll put us further down. Because our opponent's only going to be able to play like 2 cards unless, well, they've got to play 2, cause 1. So I guess we could be fairly equal. If they have to play spells, then we get to get some cards back off them. Again, the key metric in this matchup is not really our life total. We will start attacking, though, to try and... If we can get it to where they fatigue out our free cards, I think that's going to be really good for us. And obviously if we get them to 10, then we should be like miles ahead. Maybe the fatigue does do a bit too much damage. Like 5 in a row is a lot. Oh, what's this? Red Wine Piranha. So, is this poison? Okay, so deal 1 damage to a friendly character, then give it... Oh! That's really interesting with this card. And then they've got the medic as well. Okay, they managed to really go off there. Well, we're a little while away from doing Unmask, but I'm gonna... So go up to 5 this turn. And we have to attack through this 2/6. Oh, this is absurd. This is really hard. So let's just play Bureaucrat. 3 damage to the character, that's fine. And I think I'm actually just going to put away Black Market Bandit. Yeah, actually. This is a really hard decision to take. So kind of like this has been... Yeah, something's going to die off the board, isn't it? So we'll get rid of Flurry. So we'll just attack here just for the 1 point. This gets us to expend our opponent for 1. So they've got Bureaucracy as well. We probably want to do a Bureaucracy soon just to get rid of... Should we do that now? Yeah, we do have an additional play left, but that puts us too far behind. I really want us to like playing Unmask into Black Market and just killing everything that our opponent's up to. So I don't want to put too much power into attacking this. Yeah, I don't want to spend too many resources killing this just because next turn we're going to be wiping the board anyway. Just with like the Unmask into Black Market. I guess we've got an Unmask in here as well, but this would let us play Politics instead. Much rather play Politics. Just because then we get to gather 2, and that's like a 4-card swing that I'm really happy with. Then if we're able to start attacking our opponent's face, just in those multiples of 5, I thought that's going to be really important for us. Okay, so opponent's doing this to us now. Yep, so they've tagged us there. They've got us down to 10. My opponent's going to be spending a lot of cards in hand as well, it looks like. They've not caused yet, so maybe they have got like quite a good hand. And they were just looking for like a worse hand. Like, well, here's a card that is not as good out of these 4 or whatever. They can cause from play though, so they could put this like 1-2 thing. Yeah. Okay, throwing from hand. Okay, attacking in there seems fine. Yeah, looks like we're not going to have a board either. Okay, so they're actually just playing a Politics. Wow, they've got our bomb as well. Milled my bomb, can't believe it. They got our Legend, the Protection Lady, Imperial Magistrate. Oh, they're actually just playing multiple Politics. Okay, that's kind of next level. Okay, they've gone all up to 14. Yeah, that's really powerful. So we'll put Politician away. I kind of wish I could have an additional play this turn, but I kind of don't. So let's play a Politics. I mean, we could just unmask and we can unmask again later. Yeah, we'll unmask. We'll play a Bandit. We'll play a Magistrate. Then we'll attack. And then I don't think this does it. Mostly because we're just going to die in 2 turns. But I'm going to try and just like hit some Conspiracy and see if we can get that. I don't think we will, but that's fine. You know, our opponents came ready for the mirror, it seems, because they played like multiple Politics. They had like 2 and they get to play another one this turn. Yeah, actually I think I'm just going to call this... Yeah, let's concede because our opponent has got us. Is there a note? Yeah, there we go. Give it the old surrender. Yep, they've got us. Well, let's go back to the deck and then just have a quick chat. Oh, a title. Nice. Okay, so there we are. That is the deck. We did build it on stream, so you should be able to see where it was, but I will leave it here so you can take like a screenshot, or you can just look at it while you're going. So we've got Dead End, Bureaucrats, Astronomers. Just like, I guess you could probably build like a better version of this with like, that Politics seemed really, really good. Especially for the mirror. I'm not sure how good that would be against like a normal deck that's playing on the intended game plan of the game. But it was really good against us when we're trying to play like a different game. This is like in like Yu-Gi-Oh! So I got that on the Switch recently, and whilst I was trying to grind against some of the challenges to like be able to build some of the decks, get some cards, I played a deck that was basically just Exodia pieces and cards that drew cards. I had to win with Exodia just so that you didn't have to interact with the opponent on their terms, where it was all about creature combat, because like the first like set of the game was basically just creature combat, to be honest. And it's just not quite as interesting as it was later in the franchise. So this is like doing a similar thing where it's just like, yeah, I'm playing a different game to you, and I'm not interacting with your game plan. In that you don't get to play your spells that matter against me, but I'm playing some spells that matter against you, because I'm playing like turn your health to 1 because you have to play units to beat me, and I'm playing deal 1 because you have to play units and now they've got 1 health. Yeah, I really like this. Maybe eventually, if there's like enough fatigue cards, you probably want to revisit how much damage fatigue does, and it probably wants to be like first times 1, 2, 3, and it's just a cumulative thing rather than just like 5, 5, 5, 5. But then that also has like a knock-on effect of maybe that changes the wealth decks and lets them get a lot more aggressive and lets them have a little bit less gather in the deck, which would be really interesting as well. Anyway, That was all. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you around.